have some tips for you to stop wasting time, so stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm excited for this video today because it's so easy to get distracted and not use your time wisely. Your phone goes off or those dishes are calling you. Procrastinating, anyone? Procrasticrafting? There are so many things that are grabbing for our attention and we get distracted and we go from task to task and we just don't get all the things done that we want to. It could be those dishes that are calling, or the laundry, or your phone, or it could be thoughts in your head that are popping up and keeping you from focusing. I did talk about this in my video about how to find more time, but I wanted to expand on it and talk a little bit more about it because it is a big topic and it's so easy to get distracted. So if we have these tools in our back pocket to help us stay focused, then we can use the time we do have to be more productive and get things done. And then we have more time for ourselves. Before we get started, I just wanted to clarify that I'm talking about those times where you want to focus and you want to work and you want to get things done. I'm not talking about those times when maybe you need a break and those distractions are actually welcome. Sometimes we need a rest, sometimes we need to take a break, and that's different than when you have a set focus time, set work time, when you want to get things done and you've got distractions coming at you from all angles or in your head and you just want to get to work and get something done. We can't be productive 100% of the day. We do need rest times and breaks, but what I'm talking about is those specific times where you want to get something done, where you want to focus and you've got distractions coming at you from all angles and inside your head and you just can't focus. Now, number one is not going to be a surprise to anyone who has followed me for a while, and that is to plan. Now, if you have a plan, if you know what you're doing, then it's a lot easier to be able to focus because you're not also trying to decide what you're going to do. You have a plan, you know what you're doing, you're going to sit down and you're going to do it, and that alone, just getting started, will help you focus because you have a purpose, you have a plan. If you have a consistent planning routine that you do every week or every day, that'll make it even easier because you just know what's coming, you're doing it all the time, it's routine, and it just comes naturally and easily. Number two is to evaluate the work you're doing. When you're doing a task that you find enjoyable, it's going to be a lot easier to focus. But there's also times when you just have to do something even if you don't like doing it. Sometimes you just got to do the stuff that you don't like. If you have times in the day where you have more energy, whether that's mental energy or physical energy, those would be the times to do the tasks that you don't really like or you tend to get distracted more easily. Find a time when there's less distractions. Maybe if it's your family that's distracting you, or maybe your phone. Maybe you could work when everyone's at school or early in the morning before everyone wakes up so there's no one to distract you with notifications or people in your house. It all depends on how your body and brain works. Find a time for those tasks when you're at your best, and then they'll be easier and faster to get done and you'll be more focused and less likely to be distracted. Tip number three seems to be a cure-all for everything, and that is self-care. If you are not taking care of yourself, then you're more likely to get distracted and not be able to focus. If you haven't got enough sleep, you're not going to be able to focus. If you haven't eaten properly, you're going to be hungry and maybe that's distracting you, or thirsty. Every little bit of self-care that you do sort of adds up and compounds on each other so that you are a better you. You can focus better and not be so distracted. When you don't take care of yourself, your energy levels drop, you're going to be sluggish, you're going to procrastinate more and just do mindless scrolling on your phone, for example, because that's the easy thing to do when you're just not at your best. And when you're not at your best, your focus and your concentration is just going to go out the window. I do have videos on self-care and I will link those in the description below, but bare minimum, you should be sleeping enough, eating well, getting lots of water, moving your body, and getting outside. Tip number four is a big one, and that is your phone and social media. Now, if you search on YouTube, you're going to find so many videos about how to waste less time on your phone. But I really feel that this is an important topic to talk about because social media can be extremely addictive. It's addictive in the same way that slot machines are. So it's a really good idea to look at the way that you use social media and use it in a healthy way. Our phones are so great. It's like having the whole world in your hand, but at the same time, it can keep you small. If you are not using it wisely, then you could be wasting time and getting distracted when you really want to be doing something better. So I have four things to say about social media in general, and number one is to turn off your notifications. Don't have your phone pinging at you all the time. If you want to find out if someone sent you a message, you have to go into the app. That way it's you who chooses when you use the app, when you're going to scroll, when you're going to talk to people, and it's on your terms. If you have notifications going off all the time, then it's on someone else's terms, and it's like a knee-jerk reaction. You go into the app because someone else sent you a message. If your notifications are off, then you get to choose when you use the app. Okay, number 2, if you're finding it you're using social media a bit too much, find an alternative activity that you can do instead and limit your time on social media, but find something else just as fun, something else that you've been wanting to do. At first it might be a little bit difficult. Let's say, for example, you want to read this really great nonfiction book that you've heard about, but that your phone is just calling you and you'd rather just scroll through social media than sit there with a book. Use the social media as a reward. Read 5 pages and then you get to check your social media. Number 3 is use feed blocking apps. Now what these will do is they will give you a certain amount of time in an app, or you can also do that by setting limits on your phone. But with these time blocking apps, you can only go to certain parts or only go for a certain amount of time, and this will help keep you off your feed and help keep you from wasting time. And the 4th thing I want to say about social media is keep your feeds positive. Unfollow or mute people that are always negative or always seem to trigger you. If your feed is positive, you're going to get a boost to your mood and it's going to be a positive experience. But if a lot of those posts end up triggering you or making you feel bad about yourself, not only will that have an immediate negative effect, but those types of things tend to stay in our head and roll around and make us think about them and mull them over more than something that's happy. They stay with you and play over in your mind long after you've closed out the app. Having a positive feed, on the other hand, will boost your energy, boost your mood, and you don't need all that negativity in your life anyway. If you are enjoying this video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Next week, I have a planner setup for autumn and I'm really excited because it's always my favorite planner setup, my favorite colors, so you're not gonna wanna miss it. Subscribe and hit that notification bell if you haven't already so that you will be notified when that video comes out next week. Okay, let's get back into tip number 5. I often talk about the shoulds. What do you think you should be doing? So don't be distracted by what other people are doing and what you think you should be doing, because those aren't what's important. What's important is what's working for you. So these are some of the distractions that might come from in your head or internally. If you think you aren't doing things right and you should be doing things in a different way, you think you should be waking up early, cooking from scratch every day, having an elaborate morning routine, or doing yoga on the mountaintop. Those might work for other people, those are great, but if they don't work for you, then you shouldn't do them. If you try to do these things, the things you think you should do, and they're not working for you, they're going to just end up wasting you time. So do the things that work for you and let go of the rest. Those are my 5 tips. Let me know in the comments below which one resonated with you the most. Like I said, next week we will be back with an autumn planner setup. I'm really excited. I love these colors. And I can't wait for you to see. In the meantime, you can check out last year's autumn setup, so I'll send you that here. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you do that now. Hit that red button right below and turn on the notifications so you won't miss next week's video. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Next week I have, oh my god, I can't, I'm gonna do this. You can subscribe here by clicking on my little face. Here are 2 more videos that I think you will like. If you made it this far, leave me a heart emoji in the comments below. Have a fantastic day and happy planning.